Now, I know we're wrapping up May, but it's still important to remember this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and a growing number of young professionals say burnout is becoming a serious issue in the workplace, too. So let's talk about it. Joining us is friend to the show this morning who knows a lot about people and performance. She's a consultant, Dr. Amber Gunner, to talk about what's driving the stress, how both employees and employers can respond early, because this is a two-way street here. You can't just have one side of the group doing something without the other. So first of all, good to see you as always.
Yes, and thank you all so much for having me, especially for Mental Health Awareness Month.
Very much so.
As you mentioned, one of the things that's mostly important as we have this conversation is that we have to get rid of the mutual blame.
Okay.
It is important for employees and leaders to also see how they can be able to support in decreasing burnout for those that are coming into the workplace.
So let's talk about this blame game that happens.
Yes.
Go ahead. Tell me,
well,
why is, I mean, you know, I know because sometimes they're saying, well, I'm being burned out because my boss is making me do this, or a boss is saying I'm being burned out because my employees aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But both need to take responsibility in some cases.
Absolutely. I think in a lot of cases. And really what's happening is we're coming and seeing new employees entering the workforce, and they may not have all of the skills.
Exactly.
I have leaders telling me things about professionalism and email etiquette and timeliness, right? And what I say to that is that these are things that can be coached, and these are things that can be trained, versus saying we're going to get rid of them.
Right.
And a lot of this started for me when there was a Forbes article that said 6 months after being hired, a lot of their Gen Z employees were being fired.
Because people just didn't have the patience anymore?
Well, patience is one thing. There is a huge belief that, one, they should come equipped knowing these things, and two, that if they don't know, that they should be seeking it out.
Okay, I want to go backward for a second. You said they should come equipped knowing these things, but if they're not being taught these things, how can they know these things?
And that's the point that I have been trying to make to a lot of leaders, and they are listening, right? A lot of times we will say, well, I had to figure it out. And to that, I asked them, you may have had to figure out some things, but I'm sure to get to the level of success that you're at, you've had some mentors, you've had some people, maybe even indirectly, that have coached and trained you on the unwritten rules of the workplace.
Of course.
That's the other thing.
So.
Every company has a different culture, and you're gonna find that there are rules that they may not even be aware of. And so often when these new employees come in, we're expecting them just to know these things, and they don't.
That's true. And it's different generations too, so often that applies as well.
Absolutely.
So let me go back to now the young people coming in, or it may not even be a young person, it could be a different generation, you never know. What do they need to do to also step up to the plate? While somebody may be a mentor out there, some may not want to listen.
And I've had that question asked, you know, do we know that they are coachable? And I say, yes, they are. For the leaders, and we'll get back to the employees, but for the leaders, it's going to be important that you understand, one, what are their interests?
Yes.
Because when you know what they are trying to move towards in their career, then you can be able to align those things, and that will naturally spark engagement and motivation.
Yeah.
And now, excuse me, for those employees that are coming in, it's going to be important for them to also seek out that mentorship, but also know that this is a muscle. This is a muscle coming into a transition from being in college to being in the workplace.
It's hard.
It is.
We've all gone through it. It's very hard.
And we all are constantly having to learn, and so they will have to be open to learning. And I think the biggest thing, they're open, but often they can interpret that feedback as part of their identity, and maybe saying to them that they're not good enough or they are not enough.
Like they're being criticized as opposed to giving constructive criticism.
Exactly. Gotcha. And separating that. I think it's important, because if you say something like timeliness, you can work on that.
And also, if you can't find a mentor in your workplace, find organizations that you like, that are part of what you do, and find mentors there, because they're out there.
They are
everywhere.
out there. And I constantly, even as long as I've been in the workplace, have people inviting me into mentorship. So it definitely exists. I also think that this generation is very vocal about mental health.
They are.
And for a lot of leaders, because we came into it during a time where we didn't talk about it, they are still adjusting to really what that means, how they can really truly be of support in that. So I also ask that employers be patient, and then employees also be patient with their leaders as well, because ultimately we are all attempting to figure figure this out, but it starts with us both coming to the table and saying, how can I support you, but also how can I support myself in this?
Well, I know we've run out of time, but please let people know how they can get more information to help employees, employers, and all work together. How can we learn more
Coaching
about you?
and training with drambergunner.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, you're on Instagram and everything else, too,
I am
right?
at Dr. Amber Gunner, as well as on LinkedIn at Dr. Amber Gunner as well.
Amber Gunner, Dr. Amber Gunner. That's the way to make sure you can move forward, and also those that you're trying to help can move forward as well. So,
Yes.
all right. Always good to see you.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it as well.
All right.